What? He's gone. He could go all the way.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
We talking about practice.
You play to win the game.
Playoffs?
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's Division I football. It's the Big 12. It ain't intramurals.
All right, Geoff, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast between two goalposts. Very gracious, or very grateful for your time and joining us and hanging out with Dylan a little bit. I always kind of kick things off and then turn it over to Dylan. I guess first and foremost, would love just to get a little, background on you. I guess kind of tell us a little bit about yourself as we get kicked off here.
Like football or like my life or what do you guys want to know?
We're into it all. We just want to learn about you.
So I've got 3 kids. I've got a 12-year-old, an almost an 11-year-old, an almost 9-year-old. We like water sports. My girls love dance. My son loves lacrosse. And we just we try to party as much as we can.
Love that. Out and active and partying all the time. Well, Dylan, you want to kick us off with your first question?
Yeah. Great. All right. So me and my dad were thinking about how you played for the Aggies, and we just want to know, what did it feel like playing in front of 10,000 people at Kyle Field?
100.
Wait. There were way more than 10,000 people. And hang on, Dylan. Do you like the Aggies?
We are Sooner fans, so.
All the old rivalries come firing back.
That's tough. It was amazing playing at Texas A&M, Dylan. It was an awesome place. It still is. We haven't won as much as we should have, in my opinion, but it was an amazing place. And I'll tell you a story. So in 2003, I believe it was, we played the Sooners in College Station. They were number 1. We were not that good, and we whooped their butts. I mean, we beat them, I think it was 30-26. And the next year we went to Norman, Oklahoma, and they beat us 77-0. So I've got good and bad stories about the Sooners. So
wow. So the
77-0.
Yeah, well, I mean, but we beat them the year before.
So it's a split. It's a 50-50 trade.
It was definitely a split, yeah.
It's a home, and it's a tale of 2 home games.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
All right.
What was it about the 2003 versus the 2000? What was the separator between those 2 games, in your opinion?
So in 2003, we had R.C. Slocum. That was his last year. He got fired. Greatest man, wonderful coach. A&M, we didn't meet the expectations for A&M that year. And so they fired him, and we're still dealing with that 20 years later. Should have never fired him. In my opinion, that was the difference. We had a bad team the next year, and they just smoked us. So,
well, the interesting thing about that year is I know a little bit about how games can get away from you, and I think that game got away from you. And when we played USC in the national championship, that game got away from us very quickly, and I think that they ended up beating us like 55-6 or 7 or something ridiculous to that. And it was just, once the ball was rolling downhill, you couldn't catch back up.
Didn't you guys win like the next year?
No, we won in 2000. We played for it in 2004. Yeah, and we got crushed by USC in the Rose Bowl. Yep.
Dylan, right. What are you into, bro? I want to hear about you. What are you into?
I like football. I like lacrosse. I play basketball too. I love all football. I like the Niners.
I see
and I
that.
like the Oklahoma Sooners. And we have 2 dogs,
What are the names?
Rico and Lucy.
Which one's crazier? I'm guessing Rico.
Lucy.
Lucy's crazier than
Or-
Rico?
Well, Rico's a puppy, so I mean, we just got him yesterday. So he's a little crazy, but I think Lucy's a little crazier.
Once Rico gets a little
Older, he's chill.
yeah, he'll probably start going spastic.
Yeah.
What position do you play in lacrosse?
I play defense.
Nice. Do you have the long? You probably don't have the long pole yet, or do you have the long pole?
What long pole? Or like just
like-
a normal size?
Yeah, it's like this stick that's like longer. It like comes up to your face.
And mine comes up to about here, so probably not.
Okay.
Or like there,
All right.
sorta.
That sounds cool.
Tell them what your modus operandi was for your first game. You were like, I'm not sure what the rules are, so you just went out there, and what'd you end up doing?
Oh, but we lost 24-0 in the first one.
That's a butt kicking.
Yeah. But we I didn't really know what the rules was because I've just started lacrosse, and my motive was to truck as many people as possible.
And
I did it. I accomplished it. I had 7 people.
did you knock anybody in the butt?
Yeah.
You did?
One was a flag, which shouldn't have been.
Well,
I also did get clotheslined a couple times, but that's fine.
so did you hit more people or did you get hit more? What do you think?
I hit more people.
I love that. Just be aggressive. Go out there and hit them hard.
Yeah.
So my son plays defense and he gets sent to timeout once in a while or gets the flag or whatever. But
Yeah.
he's trying
Penalty
hard.
box.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
All right. So
Oh.
why do you like football? Tell me why you like football and like why you're so stoked about football.
I think even though it does stop every play, I think it's kind of a game with a lot of moving pieces. I think that's fun, even though it just stops. It's not like basketball to where it's just kind of almost always still going. I think it's like, I just like it how there's so many moving pieces and so many parts, and how you got to do everything right in a certain way. And if you take one misstep or do something wrong, I just like how it's complicated. It's hard, challenges me.
I like that. The best coach I've ever had in my entire life said it's simple, but it's not easy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple, not easy.
Yeah. It does. Sometimes the simplest stuff is the hardest.
100%. So what do you want to know about football?
What do I want to know about football?
Sure. Or what do you want to talk to me about? This is your deal, dude. Let's talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, our next question was what's your favorite memory from a Texas game you played?
Playing against Texas, like against the Longhorns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a whole lot of great memories. We lost to them every time we played them. So I've got the great memory of playing against the Sooners and like beating them. I never beat Texas, so I don't have any great stories about playing the Longhorns, unfortunately.
What's your favorite memory from playing at Texas A&M, just in your playing days there?
Definitely beating the Sooners for sure. That was pretty amazing. My redshirt freshman year, it was 2001. It was the Twin Towers. It was all that stuff. And we did a red, white, and blue out. So
cool.
In the stadium, we played Oklahoma State, I believe. But it was red, white, and blue on the 3 different levels of the stadium. And it was pretty incredible. Find a picture of it. That was amazing. I think something only like the Aggies could pull off, something that cool. That was pretty meaningful.
It's awesome. So cool. Oh, so you scored 47 out. You scored 47 out of 50 on the Wonder Licks test. Is that good? And what is that?
Yes, it's really good. It's a test. I don't even know if they do it anymore, honestly. It
I
was
don't
a
think they do. I've
test.
never heard of it.
It was kind of like an IQ test. You know what that is? Like
Yeah.
to see how smart you are. And I did really, really, really well. There were reports that I got like the third best score of all time. And they said there was a punter from Harvard who got 50 out of 50, and that Ryan Fitzpatrick got 48. Well, I will break this news right now. I played football with Ryan Fitzpatrick in Buffalo, and I asked him, I was like, man, you beat me by one? He's like, no, I didn't make 48. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I didn't make 48. They just started reporting it. I was like, well, why didn't you tell them that you didn't make 48? And he's like, they're saying I'm smart. I'm from Harvard. I was never going to like tell them I'm dumber than they think I am. So I think I might have the second highest score of all time. Fitzpatrick made a 42, according to him.
I mean, the school he was honest.
He's a very honest guy. He's a great guy.
That's cool. Nice.
We interviewed one of your nemesis over at Texas, Sergio Kindle, and he said that offensive linemen said the difference between college and the NFL was just how smart the NFL linemen are about knowing where everybody was and how hard it was to play against that intelligence. What separates? Can you expand on what is that intelligence? Can you help us define the gap between college and the NFL?
Yeah.
I mean, intelligence is one thing, but everything just moves faster, whether it's the linebackers or the linemen or whatever. So you have to anticipate and be ready and spend a bunch of time knowing what you're going to do before you do it. It's everyone's a good athlete, and you just have to be prepared and ready, and every half step really matters.
Yeah. That's what what's his
Luke,
name?
come here. Here's my son Luke. My son Luke's right here. Luke, say what's up.
What's up, boss?
What's up?
All right, beat it. I'm
How
on
you
the
doing?
podcast. Yeah, just say hi.
Hi.
All right.
Wait,
Later,
I love that.
Awesome.
Dylan, have you ever bleached your hair?
Have I ever bleed? No.
So my son Luke wants to bleach his hair, and I told him he could for spring break, and it's not quite spring break yet, but he wants to go and bleach his hair. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
Why does he want to bleach it?
I
mean,
don't know.
what color do you get it when you bleach it?
It's blonde. He's probably trying to set a vibe. Just look cool.
I mean, his hair was more brownish.
It-
Mine
it's,
used to be.
it's kind of like your hair, but yeah, probably
My
about the
hair
same
used
color.
to be. Yeah, my hair used to be really, really, really blonde, and now it's growing darker.
Yeah, I was the same way.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
What are you doing for spring break, bro?
We're going skiing.
Where?
Aspen.
Oh, I'll be in Deer Valley.
Nice.
I don't know if our outlook is looking pretty good. I looked at the weather next week. It said 65 degrees, so we might be on sticks
I
and
think I
rocks.
saw 54 and raining in Deer Valley, so it's not looking great. So
Yeah, not looking good.
Okay, moving on. So, what was your welcome to the league moment in the NFL?
my welcome to the league. So I walked in when I got drafted. They brought me up to Charlotte, North Carolina. I actually didn't know where the Panthers were. I got drafted and I was like, oh, Carolina Panthers, that sounds great. Where do the Carolina Panthers play football at? And I had to Google it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I walked in and there was a guy sitting in the locker room named Chris Jenkins, Kris, and he was probably 375 pounds and enormous. And I walked in, he was like the first person I saw. And I was like, man, I don't know if this whole football thing's for me. He was a D lineman, and I would have to block him. And that was kind of my welcome to the NFL. He scared the crap out of me for several years.
Just a massive human being.
Massive human being.
Wow. 375 pounds is big. Was he
Yes,
good?
sir. He was very good. And he was strong.
Nice.
And he was fast. And he was terrifying.
If you're even remotely fast at 375 pounds, wow.
I 100%. And he got to go forwards, and I had to go backwards. I mean, it wasn't fair.
And how big were you? How big were you when you showed up in the NFL?
I was probably 305 or so, something like that, between 305 and 310.
Yeah, so he's a little bigger.
70 pounds on him. That's a lot of weight.
He was bigger, faster, stronger, all the things. That's why it was so scary.
I mean, 70 pounds is one of me.
100%. Yeah. And he would just like pick you up and throw you with one hand.
Raw power.
Beast.
Yeah. Definitely a beast.
Yeah, nice. I like this next one. All right, so who is the toughest player you've ever played with and against?
The toughest player I ever played against was Ndamukong Suh. He was a bad man. I didn't really like him because he wasn't very nice. Played in Nebraska, which us Sooners and Aggies can agree. Like, no one likes Nebraska. He was so good, but he was so mean, and I just did not like playing against him.
Was he a lineman?
He was a defensive lineman, yeah, and he was very, very good. The other question was, who was the toughest player I played with?
Yeah.
I played with a lot of tough dudes. Trying to think if I have a good story about somebody who I played with that was like super tough. I can't think of a great one, but I played with 2 Hall of Famers, which is pretty cool. I played with Julius Peppers. He was the second pick in the draft. He was a defensive end.
I thought, what? Who? I've heard the name Julius Peppers. I don't know why I think he's a quarterback.
So Julius, he was
Who
a
was the
defensive
quarterback
end.
for the Dolphins?
Tua
Who was
Tagovailoa.
famous?
Dan Marino?
Not Dan Marino, like 1990s, 2000s.
That would have been Marino.
I thought that-
Then Joey Harrington, Dante Culpepper.
Dante Culpepper. That's who I was thinking of.
Dante Culpepper. No.
Yeah.
Julius Peppers
Julius Peppers.
was way better than Dante Culpepper ever thought about being. Julius, he actually played basketball at North Carolina and football.
Wow.
And North Carolina is way better
dude.
at basketball than they are at football. I played with him. I played with him for 4 years. He played 19 years in the NFL and is a Hall of Famer. And then I also played with Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly, I played with him
I've heard
for
Luke Kuechly.
3 years. And he just got elected to the Hall of Fame. So those guys are both super tough. I played with a bunch of tough guys, but I couldn't think of it like a great story to tell you about some tough guy,
Yeah.
but playing with Hall of Famers is kind of cool too. So
What do you think that makes is you just think about the NFL and everybody's physical, everybody's tough, but when those names kind of rise to the top about who is tough, what is it about is it the style of play? Is it a mentality? Is it some other intangible that makes you think, man, that guy was tough, or some relentlessness? What is it in the NFL where collectively the guys go, that guy's tough?
So Dylan, here's a good story for you and a good lesson for you. Toughness doesn't happen like in a single second or a single moment. It's a collective, I'm going to do this every day. Like I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go lift more weights. Like toughness happens over time. It's not a one time thing, right? So it's
Yeah.
having great habits. It's, hey, maybe I'll eat some broccoli, or maybe I'll lift a little bit extra weights, or maybe I'll run a little bit more, maybe I'll practice a little bit more. The toughest guys that I ever knew were the guys that always did the extra stuff. And that's a decision. That's not like something that just happens. So always think about that. Toughness is the
Yeah.
choice.
Why don't you kick over to our next question?
All right. Who is the funniest teammate you've ever had and why?
Oh man. Jordan Gross. He was a lineman like me, big ugly guy from Idaho. He just had a knack. He was very, very witty. You know what that means, Dylan? Witty, like he was sharp and like just when somebody said something, he always had something funny to say.
Yeah.
It was him or it was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who I talked about earlier. He was from Harvard. He was smart and he was always had something funny to say. So it had to have been one of the two of those guys.
Is there a moment that stands out with their humor?
Not that I can talk about on a kids podcast, but
Okay.
there were lots of funny moments in the locker room.
Well, Dylan, if you're doing this podcast in 10 years, we can revisit for the Plus 18 show.
I will tell you a story about Santa, the Santa Claus that we had that said a lot of very, very silly things, but
That's so good.
probably not until you're 18.
Keep us trucking, homie.
All right, great. What is a locker room story you will share with your grandkids?
That's a great question. I don't know, but I'll tell you my favorite thing I ever did in the locker room. Can I tell you about that instead? Because I'm not really sure what I'm going to tell my grandkids.
Yeah.
So my daughter Cora, how old are you?
9.
9. So my daughter Cora is 12, and my last year in the NFL, she was born, and I've got a picture of her as like a tiny little baby, like laying next to me by my pads and at my locker, and I've got a picture of her like on the field before the game. That was my favorite kind of thing that I look back on. There's a lot of silly stuff that happens in the locker room. I loved all of it, but just having Cora in there with me was pretty special.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Having your kids in there with you is even more special.
100%.
So cool. So, who was your football idol growing up and why?
So my favorite football player was John Elway. I'm not really sure why. So I was born in Houston, and the Houston Oilers moved away when I was a kid. So I never really like rooted for an NFL team. But for some reason, I loved John Elway. I just thought that he was awesome. So I love the Denver Broncos. I wouldn't say I met him. I saw him in person at a golf course in Denver probably 10 years ago. And I could have said, "Hey, I'm Geoff. I played in the NFL. Hey, how's it going?" And I saw him and I completely melted. Played with multiple Hall of Famers, and I saw him and I was just like, hey, and just kind of walked by. But he was always my idol. I thought he was amazing. And maybe one day I'll talk to him. Who knows?
And if you think about just reorienting, so as a kid, John Elway was your idol that you looked up to. And with your collective NFL experience, just knowing what that game is like on a day-to-day basis, how has that made you think differently about John Elway from looking up to him as a kid and knowing what he went through and how he played in the NFL, given you've had a similar experience on the field?
He was that tough guy, like we talked about earlier, right? Like he was the guy, I'm sure, without playing with him or knowing him when he played, like he was the guy that was in there early. He was doing all the right things. he was just the guy that playing well on Sunday, he would do everything he could, Monday through Saturday to make sure he did well on Sunday. And that's, as I've seen this, that's what it takes. It's like, hey, doing the things when people aren't looking, doing the right things all the time. I don't know him, but I'm sure he was doing all those things.
We interviewed a gentleman named Felix Wright, who was a defensive back for the Cleveland Browns. And he recanted. He was on the field when Elway did his 98-yard drive in the AFC Championship.
The drive. It's called the drive. Yeah.
The drive. But recanted that drive for us. And he was like, we thought we had him. We thought we played it right. Then he marched right down the field on us in relentless surgical fashion.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. And he's a large man. I'm 6'5" and I still weigh 270 pounds. Like, I'm a big man, but he's still, even this day, a big man. He's a large. People don't realize that. Like, Troy Aikman's a huge guy. Cam Newton, who I played with, large human being. Like, John Elway, also large human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I never really think of quarterbacks like large or big.
So no one really does, dude. But the good ones are large people.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. I met Josh Allen. He's
like
dude.
6'6".
He's
Yeah.
I'd say 6'5", but he's probably about, yeah. I don't think he's taller than me. I'm 6'5". I think he's probably 6'5", but he's probably every bit of 240 pounds. Big dude.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Cool. It's great to hear your experience with John Elway and Josh Allen. Awesome.
You're going to keep us
Fun
rocking?
to hear about it. I like this one too. So which NFL player, if you could choose anyone from history, would you want to be your sidekick in a movie?
Oh, wow. You guys have great questions. Any NFL player for a sidekick? I think I'd pick Luke Kuechly, actually. He's just like a handsome dude. He did everything right. And I feel like he's super nice, but like if I needed somebody to get in a fight, I think I'd take him. Because people would think like he doesn't look that tough because he's so handsome and whatever, but he's kind of a bad man. I think I'd pick Luke Kuechly.
So Luke would be the straight and narrow and you'd be the comic relief in this movie?
I guess, yeah. I mean, he's a stud. He actually, so Dylan, he looks like a Boy Scout. If you saw him, you'd be like, this guy's in the NFL Hall of Fame? No way. He's not that big. I mean, he's big, but he's not that big. But he's just like the guy that he's a bad man. But he's so sweet and so nice that you'd never think that. So I would take him because he's so sweet and so nice.
Yeah.
No one would ever expect that he was that bad of a dude. He was a bad man like that.
It's always interesting to hear about the guys who off the field have such a either quiet, soft, kind demeanor and then turn a switch when they get on the field and get into competitive mode. What was it about Luke that he really turned on whenever he stepped onto the field?
He actually wasn't a guy that turned it on. He did every day. Like it wasn't like a switch that he flipped. There was only one guy that I ever met that had a switch that flipped on. Aaron Schobel. He was a TCU guy. Played with him in Buffalo. And my first year in Buffalo, I was like, this is like our highest paid player. Like, who is this guy? He doesn't do anything in practice. Like, this guy's kind of garbage. Like, what are you talking about? He was the only guy I've ever seen who could turn it on. The first game of the year, he intercepted a screen pass from Tom Brady in Boston. And I think he scored a touchdown. You guys can go back and look and see if that's right. I think he scored a touchdown. But he was unbelievable, just like didn't do a whole lot during the week, during the day, during the practices. And when game time started, he was just absolutely incredible. So
Just a guy who had a knack for the game and competitiveness when it was time to shine.
But not that competitive outside of Sundays, except for golf. I mean, he loved golf.
Yeah.
But just not the guy that was like really like doing the hard things or working that hard or anything. He's the only guy I've ever seen that can just like turn it on.
Huh. So
Cool.
cool.
Nice. So what is your best advice for succeeding in life or sports?
Your attitude and your effort.
Yeah.
I said it earlier, the only two things you can control are your attitude and your effort. And if you do that,
Yeah.
you can't control if you're going to be 6'1" or 6'5" or 100 pounds or 200 pounds or 300 pounds. What you can control is how hard you try and how hard you play and how much effort you put into the things that matter. So your attitude and your effort, those are the most important things. When you go out on the lacrosse field, be the baddest man out there. You can't control if you're the biggest, but you can be the baddest.
That is true. Awesome.
Is attitude and effort something you were born with or something that you had to learn to apply to what you wanted to accomplish in life?
Effort was one of those things that my parents coached into me. It was, try hard, do your best. The attitude part, I'm actually like, I think I'm like kind of nice most of the time, but like as an lineman, as a smaller guy, I had to learn to be mean. And so that attitude I had to actually learn. And that was just like one of the things I had to do to play football beyond high school and college was to learn to be kind of an ass. Have you ever heard that word, Dylan?
Yeah.
I had to learn that. But yeah, it's attitude and effort, bud.
How did you learn that? Was that something that coaches just pushed you until you got there? How do you think you developed that over time?
They did push me, yeah. But the further I got along in football, the more I realized that I was only so talented. Like I was good enough to play in the NFL, but I wasn't like very, very, very athletic or good. So I had to have something else to keep going. And that was like being smart, knowing it was going to happen before it happened, and like being the guy who would do the things that others wouldn't. So
Yeah.
So you had to look for your edge.
I had to find it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Attitude and effort, baby.
Yeah.
All day long.
Those are the
All right,
two
Dylan.
biggest things.
Yeah. You want to close us out with our last question?
Yeah. Which former teammate of yours should I interview next and why?
I mean, you guys have all the good questions. Former teammate. Oh, there's so many, and they all have so many crazy stories.
Who do you think the best college or pro, just you're sitting around hanging out talking about who's the best storyteller of your former teammates from A&M or your time in the pros?
The funniest guy I ever played with was Kendall Moorhead. Kendall Moorhead was from Alabama. I haven't talked to him in 15 years or so, but
Yeah.
Kendall thought that that crawfish fell from the sky. And I said, Kendall, you got to be kidding me. He's like, no, my grandma said that crawfish fell from the sky, and he believed that 20 years ago. I'm not sure if he still does. Someone like him would be hilarious. Trying to think who. I mean, I played with so many characters, and it's not always the ones that you've heard of that are the funniest. Like, Dylan, you've never heard of Kendall Moorhead before, nor will you ever hear his name again, probably. But he was hilarious, and Trying to, man, who else should you talk to? Let me think about it. I'll
All right,
text your
fair
dad.
enough. Yeah, we got him on the spot. I do feel like we owe it to Geoff, whether he gives us some guidance or not, that we hunt down Kendall Moorhead and hear about crawfish falling from the sky.
It's
Feel like-
he said when
I
it
feel like
rained,
that could-
the crawfish came from the sky. And I'll do everything I can to find his number or whatever. I don't
Yes.
have his number, but I will definitely search that down because I would love to know what Kendall's up to these days. So
Yeah, we'll find out what Kendall's up to. We'll see if he still believes in crawfish falling from the sky. I bet he's got a lot of other hilarious things to share with us.
he absolutely does. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Geoff, man, thanks so much for carving out some time on a Sunday evening to chat with us about your playing career and your time in the NFL and all the relationships you had and what it's like in the trenches. Really love the attitude and effort. I don't know if we were chatting about it, but one of the great things that's come out of this podcast for Dylan and I is while we get to talk about football and get a peek behind the window about what it's like to play at the highest level, Dylan's getting all these little mini mentor sessions from people who've achieved things at a very high level. And so that's been very meaningful to us, and we really appreciate you sharing that with us.
The attitude and effort matter in life and not just sports, bud. So great attitude, great effort, whether it's a math test or whether it's running a PE or whatever it is, dude, that works in everything you do.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on the pod. You were so fun to have on. Gave us a lot of great stories. Thanks so much.
You bet, brother.
He's gone. He couldn't go all the way.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
We talking about practice.
You play to win the game.
Playoffs?
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's the